so the third one is really about learning well and working well. So this is really about our abilities. And again, it's really interesting to sort of include this feature because our work life is such an important part of our self-esteem and our well-being, and everyone's got a different capacity. But what they're saying is a good marker of positive mental health is the ability to work well and to learn well. And the key indicator is well.
Yeah.
The reality is, of course, that study and work can both cause stress and they can not necessarily be positive for our mental health. But there's a means, a way of working and a way of studying which all studies show are generally positive for your well-being. Create great routine, great sense of self-worth. Obviously, there's financial benefits. There's a sense that I'm growing, and so working, having a routine and rhythm of life, and being productive again, it's a really core part of what helps us tick.
Which is why, when COVID and all of that routine was quite an impact on our personal well-being. But I think the other thing around this is, taking it from a Christian point of view, God has put gifts and ability within us on this journey. It's a journey of discovery to how best we can use those gifts in the most productive way, isn't it?
Yeah, there's something amazing about this idea of sort of realising the gifts that God has put in you, and it does awaken us to the sort of, I think, the mystery of ourselves as God's created us. Right at the very beginning of the Bible, the Christian story, it says that God called those first people to work and to be productive.
Yeah.
And productivity is such a gift. In the stress bell curve, actually, inactivity is stressful in itself. So if you work with people who are unemployed, you'll know there's a huge amount of stress associated with that. As people tend to be happiest and emotionally more content when they're in a working space, which is not overwhelmingly stressful because that has a detrimental impact, but in this sense, actually, I'm productive, I've got a routine, I'm making progress in life, and that as I say, it aligns with how we've been made. We've been made to be active. But I really want to encourage people to think about what's right for you.
Exactly.
What's the right shape for you? And there's lots of different ways in the world today where you can gain that value of learning well and working well, which don't necessarily get inhibited by a sort of slightly lighter capacity than maybe someone else has, or a different life circumstance.
Because we are all different, aren't we?
Absolutely.
People's capacity to work, people's ability, creativity, which is so different.
Yeah.
And when you recognise, hey, God's put that within you, it's discovering that and working with it.
Yeah, that's where this sense of self-esteem really comes from. It's like I'm growing and learning, and there are a number of people with serious and enduring mental health problems who might not be able to work in any capacity. But again, volunteering, we know, is really positive. If you're struggling with your mental health, volunteering is a really, really valuable way of helping to restore that sense of value and dignity around work, which can help us to stay in that space of actually I'm learning and I'm working in some way. Try not to benchmark it out across society at large. Just say what's good for me, and how does it link through to the way in which I've been built.
And the affirmation and the well done from someone else is so valid in these things, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we need to encourage each other more in a society that tends to be more critical. Not every boss is out there to offer praise, but as far as we can, encouraging one another and identifying ways in which we're growing in our learning and in our work.
God's put this in us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, lesson 3 that we've just covered is recognise it, appreciate it, study, develop it, and release it, and you'll see an amazing increase in your well-being.